let you guys in for a treat today. You're gonna see my very first sketchbook that was ever completed. Now, this sketchbook is the Lita Art Supply sketchbook, and I think I just got it off Amazon for Christmas 2 years ago. Now, this isn't to say this is my very first art or anything, because I've been drawing for about half a year before that, but this is still the very first one that I've ever completed, and it's a really big achievement, and I'm really happy to share it with you guys. So on we go. I'm gonna go ahead and open this. And so, as you can see, I was really excited to start my first sketchbook. Really wanted to draw a skull to show that I could draw a skull. I put a 1 behind it because I thought it was cool. I also got colored pencils when I got this sketchbook, so the roses are all colored pencil. This is colored pencil, and this is the one. And you can see I started on Christmas 2019, and I finished it April 7th, 2020. So, to the next page. Now, as I was really trying to learn the colors and what looks well together, I decided the best thing I could do is put a little complimentary with a little bit of color theory here, and I wrote down all the different colors that are complementary. Did it stick with me? Probably not, but I still did it. And up here in this little corner, you can see that I did the little thumbnail for what eventually became my first page. Now, in 2019, I was really fascinated by drawing portraits, and so you can see I was really obsessed with Andrew Loomis, and I was really trying to apply what he was showing in his books, be able to draw better portraits. This time I really did a lot of picture studies. I had pictures from Pinterest because I was really trying to figure out the face, how it looks, and how to simplify it. You can see here this fella, and then I decided I was going to shade him. My shading's gotten a bit better since this, but at the time I was really happy with it. And then with my colored pencils, I'm so upset that this piece was ruined. Like, I thought I'd done so well in the shadows, and then on the next page I had just gotten markers, and I decided, oh, alcohol markers, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on this page. I didn't really think about the bleed through, but I learned by ruining something that I thought was really nice at the time. Now this piece, I have to say I'm sorry for what this piece looks like. I try to draw everything on this page from memory, no references, and I think it looks really, really bad. It shows that I didn't know much in the beginning. I had these alcohol markers that had gotten. They were the Spectrum Noir alcohol markers, and I just got them off Amazon. And then on this page I was like, oh, okay, if I'm drawing a character, where would she live? And I drew this awful background in a swamp kind of huts thing. Definitely inspired by The Mandalorian. If you have ever seen that, I really like the concept art at the end of some of the episodes, so I was definitely inspired by that. Yeah, I didn't use a reference. It was over my head. You could tell that it's just not a good piece. You can see I learned from the other page that not to draw on a page where it's gonna bleed through. You can see even more here that it went onto this page, but decided to draw another study anyways of a face. You can see I'm trying to learn how shadow touches the face. The thing you had thinking was how to learn how to draw a face. Now, what does this say? On to the next page. On this page, you can see that I tried to do the colored pencil portrait again like I'd done previously. But as you can see, I wasn't as happy with it because it says here, this little cartoon says you'll never be as good as the last one. And then on this page, I decided I wanted to try to draw Gene Wilder. I found a picture on Pinterest. And then this is supposed to be Nick Cage, but I don't think it looks like him. You can see here there's more Andrew Loomis. I just copied some of the pages in his How to Draw Heads book, like the bones of the face is just the skull. And on this, I decided to do the muscles as well, and I wrote down all the muscles and tried to remember everything. Did I remember everything? No, I'm still trying to keep that in mind when I draw faces today, but it definitely helped when I was just starting out. And then this is the differences between a man's skull and a woman's skull. You can see this is more angular, a bit wider, and this is a bit narrower and has less of a harder edge to it. And then here are some of the neck muscles. I should probably go over the neck muscles again because I have a lot of trouble remembering them. Yeah. And then this is how the main neck muscle reacts to being tilted or twisting. And I think it's really helpful for gesture drawing because you can basically know which way your character's neck is facing just on a couple of little lines here. And then this is just a more detailed drawing of the neck muscles along with the sternum and collarbones. And then on this page, it was one of my first posts on Instagram. I decided that 2020 was going to be different, so I was going to start by making posts for Instagram, and this is the very first one that I ever posted on Instagram, but I archived it since because it's not my best work, but I think this is a huge milestone for me and really got me onto trying to market myself on social media. And then this is just a doodle page with loads of really bad faces. And on these next couple of pages, I decided I wanted to try doing a 100 heads challenge. Again, this would be my second time doing it, but I only got to number 30. And so, yeah, you can see there's a couple of alright ones, but as soon as the head started to tilt for me, I had a lot of trouble understanding where everything goes. Yeah. You can see towards here, I was just getting really more gestural instead of focusing on the shading because I thought it took too long to do these. Just wanted to finish up the pages. Yeah. Same thing here. And then I finally stopped on this one. I thought she looked really nice and I wanted to just really emphasize the hair. I don't think it came out very well, but I can't change it now. And on this page, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to draw something from imagination and try to take everything I've learned from Andrew Lucas's books and try to create my own thing. So I decided I'd draw a face and all the muscles coming off, melting away, and this woman's in like a screaming kind of position. And I really didn't like it, but after doing this, I realized I needed to work on my expressions a little bit more because I didn't know what I was doing. So I went to Pinterest and I found a couple of helpful little guides from Scott McCloud on how to draw, angry, repulsed, terror, happy, sad, and like really shocked kind of expressions just to dip my toes in the water. And in this page is another page from Scott McCloud's book that I found a page on Pinterest, and it just shows, a combination of the last page and what they can all turn into. And then this page is a study of Francisco Goya's. He was a Spanish painter in the late 1700s, early 1800s, and I just decided to pick some of his pieces, what I found that I really liked, and other pieces that that gave me kind of a vibe to draw off of. And so the first one here is called "And So Is His Grandfather," and I thought it was really, really funny because he's a donkey, showing off his lineage of other donkeys. And then this one here was called "The Sleep of Reason Produces Monsters," and it was originally an ink print, so it would be cut out and printed loads of times onto different pieces of paper during that time period. Then this one was an oil painting. I decided to do in pencil, and it's called Two Women Eating from a Bowl. And this one I just felt was really creepy because it has this woman where she's nearly skeleton-like and she's like, ominous, and this woman's basically on death's doorstep. And the last one I decided to do a full page on because this is the piece I was really interested in doing for Goya, and that was the one labeled The Giant. And I wanted to do this because it had such a beautiful feeling of emptiness and loneliness in his piece. Like, it just totally envelops the feeling of feeling completely alone with yourself and like you can't talk to anyone. And I felt that I really resonated with this piece at the time, so I decided to draw it. And you can tell here I was having a lot of trouble with the back muscles, and it was just a really good exercise for me. And then on these pages I decided I was going to try to do expressions again because that's what I was doing a couple pages before. I decided to do Francisco Goya's studies, and I'm not really happy with them. You can see there was originally 4 faces to do in this picture that I found, but I eventually got really tired of trying to draw them, so I just went and did my own kind of sad chef cartoon, a terrible chef's hat. Yeah. And then this one, this was a profile version of different expressions, trying to make it look like the same character. And these were a study of different eye shapes, and then a couple of doodles. Then here we have some gesture drawings. You can tell here I didn't know what I was doing at all. And so to try and make this page pop out a bit more, I tried to add a bit of color, but it still looks bad. And then on this page there's a couple more gesture drawings. I did the same thing as the last one. And then on this page there's a couple more eye shape studies. Just really trying to understand eye shapes a little bit more. And then I decided to do a small study on nose shapes and how to shade them. And then after doing those other features, I decided the third most important feature is the mouths. And I was having a lot of drawing teeth and how to make them look not so creepy. And after this, I decided that drawing teeth with all the lines in between is really not the way to go about it. I find they're very creepy. You can see here in the bottom I said, I hate drawing mouths. They're so creepy. So yeah, that's where I learned just to make teeth as simple as possible. And then this, I was fooling around with different face shapes, trying to make different characters. Down here, I decided to work on different hairstyles because I found that I kept drawing the same kind of hair over and over and over again. And then I decided on this one I draw loads of faces with different expressions and hairstyles and try to make them look half decent, but they don't look half decent. And then on this page, I had just finished watching, I think it was the first season of The Mandalorian, and I really wanted to draw Baby Yoda, so I did. Now, why this page is really empty is because I had decided I was going to originally draw the Mandalorian himself on this side, but after finishing this, I did not want to do that, so I just scratched it.
Well, that's it for part 1. I'm going to upload the second part sometime in the next couple of weeks. If you are interested in watching that, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.